Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee, where today we are continuing our discussion on joy as part of our series on the fruit of the Spirit. Now, if you have not watched the previous episodes in this series, most particularly the last two episodes on joy, then you need to begin there and come back and watch this after that. We're going to start with Galatians 5:22, which is our key verse for this entire series. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. As we said last week, we have an unanswered question. How do we have joy when we're facing trials? And the reason we asked that was James chapter 1, verse 2. Where James says, "Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials." This verse seems to be the root of some of the misapplication on the study of joy. Now, there's nothing said incorrect here, but we're misunderstanding what's being said. Sometimes people read this particular passage and they think what is being said is, you will face trials and you are supposed to have joy. There's no way you can be happy during a trial, so joy does not equal happiness. But I would say to you that if you read this verse fully, pay attention to what it's saying and read it in context, we can see what is really being stated here. What's really being stated is you're going to experience trials, but we are children of God, so we experience joy, and we experience that joy not because of the trials, but because of the outcome of the trials, because of what those trials do to build us up, and because we have a hope and an eternity greater than any of those trials. Now, let me give a worldly example that might help us to understand it a little bit better. Let's suppose that at the end of today, if you went into work and did your normal day, at the end of the day, you're going to receive a check for $100 million. Now, you think this is grand. You're as excited as you can be. And so you rush out and you head into your job, and then soon you find out this is not going to be a cakewalk. Nothing is going right. The equipment that you're working on or the system you're working with is not functioning properly. You cannot get anything done. It's all just messing up. And because of that, it's causing other people to be late in their work, and they turn on you. They start blaming you because they're not meeting their daily goals. Then they go to your boss and they complain to your boss because you're causing them to be late, and your boss sides with them. Your boss comes out and maybe even says some snide remarks. Your day is just getting worse and worse. To make matters even worse than that, you hit your head on a cabinet and a big knot begins to swell up. This day is just awful by most people's standards, but you know something greater than all of these trials, because at the end of this day, no matter how bad it is, you're going to get a check for $100 million. $100 million you can spend however you want. Now, most of us would be able to keep our eyes on the prize, even in the challenges that we faced all day. We would probably even have a smile on our face amidst those trials because of what the end result is. This is how we experience joy in this life. We have our eyes focused on a much greater prize, an eternity in paradise with Him. That is how we can face these trials and still be joyful. It reminds me of a passage that we read the first week in Matthew 13, chapter 44. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in the field, which a man found and hid again. And from joy over it, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. He is able to do that, sell all that he has, because the prize is worth much more than what he has. And my friends, even if we lose everything we have in this world with no compensation to us, it is greater than all the trials we have here, all those things that we lost. It is greater for us to experience eternity in paradise with Him. Now let's look at one more passage of Scripture from 1 Peter 1:6. In this you greatly rejoice, even though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been distressed by various trials, so that the proof of your faith, being more precious than gold, which is perishable, even though tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. And though you have not seen him now, you love him. And though you do not see him now, but believe in him, you greatly rejoice with joy inexpressible and full of glory, obtaining as the outcome of your faith the salvation of your souls. This, my friends, is worth celebrating. This is what our joy is all about. This is why we go out and want to show Jesus to the world. This is why we should remember the world is our mission field, and we should go out and reflect Jesus into it.